into that game.
He's able to land the double 16. Maybe thinks he's close for comfort there on the 18th, but that is exactly what she wanted.
Great dart. Bullseye for double 16. Great finish. Tony O'Shea. Does he fancy it? Fancy it, he did. And a fancy finish. Brilliant. This would be a blockbuster.
Game show on the second leg.
Get Divorce produces it. Hello there, good evening, and welcome along to Friday night here at the Modus Super Series. A great Group B in prospect and everything to play for after the opening night of action in that group. We'll talk more about that, but before we get into it, myself and Mr. Matthew Edgar are going to reflect on Group C this afternoon. Interesting end to that group, wasn't it? The two players that went through in Stuart Kellett and Colin Osborne were streets ahead, but it looked like Osborne would win the group. It didn't turn out that way.
No, and he was very, very close, wasn't he, to having the best ever Group C campaign and ended up not winning the group. That actually went to Stuart Kellett. The two players head and shoulders above the group. There was a lot of debutants in there. There was a lot of nerves, maybe a little bit lower than the levels we'd normally expect to see on a Group C campaign. And the two players with experience, not surprising for me that they ran away with it. Yeah,
Colin Osborne here would have topped the group had he hit any of those double attempts there, but he could not get over the line. As you say, remarkable that it could have been a record-breaking campaign. And in the end, Kellett gets the win. Just a quick word on him, because we kind of thought that Osborne would get through, but Kellett really kind of showed that form that we knew he had back when he was a tour card holder.
Yeah, and he wasn't just a tour card holder, was he? He reached the final of a European tour. He played in a lot of the big TV events. He was a quality dart player. Doesn't really take it seriously anymore, doesn't really practice as much, has got other commitments, doesn't really want that sort of lifestyle no more. It's a tough lifestyle to have being a professional player. I can certainly vouch for that. It's not an enjoyable one, and he doesn't want it anymore, but he still wants to play darts. He still loves the sport, and now he's got a platform here at the Super Series where he can do that and still be competitive on a very good international platform.
Yep, and he's got a chance to lift a trophy on Saturday night. Not just those two players that are through. Connor Scott already made it to finals night by winning Group A on Wednesday. So we're going to find out the final three players from that Group B. Ashley Coleman, Fallon Sherrock, Gert DeVos, Ron Meulenkamp and Tony O'Shea. And everybody got points yesterday, so it's all to play for.
Everyone's in there, aren't they? Everyone's in the mix. 5 players looking for 3 places, and no one's really safe at the moment either, because in a Group B a couple of results go against and all of a sudden you get drawn back into the pack. We've seen players go into the day with 6 points and not qualify. It's happened on many of occasions, but I do think there's potentially just one sort of wild card in there, and that could come down to Tony O'Shea. Now, I don't think Tony O'Shea is going to qualify. I'm going to say that now, which means he's probably going to win all these games and walk the group. But Tony O'Shea, we know, has been struggling. He's had some time away. It's day 2 where that kicks in. On day 1, you can find a little bit of freedom, but if the issue is there that he's had in the past and that's been having him and plaguing him for the last couple of months, that's seen him withdraw from events, the issue is going to flag up today. And if that is the case, he could come out of contention. But we did see yesterday some real flashes of brilliance for him. So where he times them could play quite a part as a bit of a wild card.
Yeah, good point. But if he is kind of cast aside, the sort of head-to-heads between the others are going to be really important. And we had one of those yesterday, didn't we, at the end of the evening with Fallon Sherrock and Ashley Coleman. How important was it for Coleman to get the win in that one?
Really much so, because he's never been to a Saturday night before, and that's probably the big important thing. He's played well this week. He's really stepped it up. I've been really impressed with Ashley Coleman, and he's on the verge now of doing something he's not done before. Had he came into tonight with 4 points, you'd question it a little bit. There'd be question marks. I think because he's got 6, he only needs maybe 1 result. 2 would certainly get him there. So he's more than halfway done, and the way he's playing, I think he's going to get over the line.
Yeah, it was a great closing out of the evening for him. Let's just take a look at the table. He is on 6 points in the group, but he's not the only one. Gert DeVos actually just ahead of him on leg difference by 1. Fallon Sherrock, after losing that game, right in the middle on 4. The surprise, really, Ron Meulenkamp, just 1 win for him last night.
And that game, he averaged over 100 in. It was the best performance of the night from anybody. He wasn't there last night, Ron Meulenkamp. Bit snatchy, not getting to the end of his throw, looping the dart with the shoulder a lot. He wasn't playing well, but he's kept himself in it. We've seen from Ron Meulenkamp before, he can have these days where, because of the throw and all the movement and the action, he needs a lot of things to be in sync. And it wasn't in sync last night. That doesn't mean tonight it's not going to be in sync. If he does hit those levels, if everything starts being sync and flowing, if he starts doing that early, he could run through the card tonight, and I do expect to see him here on Saturday.
Yeah, the bookies really fancied him last night. He was joint favourite to win the group. Now he's out to 8-1. So these are the odds for the outright betting. So to win this group, they've gone with Coleman as favourite. However, if you just look at the order, they think that DeVos and Sherrock will be the two going through. They don't think there's any change. Do you agree?
I think that's fair. I do. I'd probably put a little bit wider on O'Shea. I think they could be a bit risky giving a big price there, and then take a little bit off the price of Meulenkamp. But I'd say that's pretty fair in regards to a good reflection.
And the first match, Meulenkamp plays Gert DeVos. So if he wins that one, immediately that 8-1 looks massive, doesn't it?
Exactly. And on the other hand, if he loses it, you're not getting anywhere near your 8-1. So if you have took Ron Meulenkamp tonight, you're going to be all eyes on this first game. It's going to be very telling.
Right, we'll get our eyes on the first game as well. It is about to get underway. Ron Meulenkamp against Gert DeVos. DeVos goes into the final night, top of the table. He's had a long week here at the Super Series, and he had a little chat with me earlier tonight. Gert, the last night of qualifying for finals night, how do you feel you've performed this week?
Darts didn't go well. I know I'm not a very consistent player. But if I play my game, I can play very well, I know. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
How much have you enjoyed the experience here at the Super Series?
I enjoy it really much. It's fun. We had a good group this week, now as well. So I know all the players. That helps.
And by getting into Group B, you put yourself in a good position to get through. And last night, 3 wins out of 4. So you must be feeling quite confident of making it to Saturday.
Yeah, I'm confident. Like I said, I'm not the most consistent player, but I can play my game, and then I can win some matches.
Have you got any targets in mind about how many games you might need to win tonight, or who you might need to beat?
No, I just want to try to win every single game. So.
And what would it mean to you to make it onto the stage tomorrow night in front of an audience and have the chance to win the title?
It would mean a lot for me, because I didn't have too much time to practice last weeks because I'm moving into my girlfriend, so that's takes a little of work as well, but we'll see.
Maybe a double celebration then. Good luck.
Thank you.
Yeah, might have a few bits of extra pocket money to take to the furniture store or wherever he needs to go. But will he be on the stage or on the seats at finals night tomorrow? Yeah, DeVos needs 2 wins to be mathematically through. Maybe 1 win will be enough, and an early one here would be very, very welcome for Foxy of Belgium. Ron Meulenkamp, as we just saw in the table, 4 points adrift of DeVos, would be delighted to close that gap, the Dutchman, and put himself firmly in the mix for a finals night place himself. This is the opening match of tonight's 10. Myself, Chris Murphy, and Matthew Edgar have the pleasure of guiding you through an evening which I'm sure, Matthew, will have many more twists and turns than this afternoon did. It was pretty plain sailing.
It was done very early in Group C, but we always feel that this Group B is going to be the one in regards
First
to giving you a real close race.
Game on.
And a real close battle. Very interesting listening to Gert DeVos, wasn't it, there in that interview, and when he discusses
100.
the sort of lack of preparation time coming into this week, makes you think if this week is all about Saturday, which that's where the deciding factor is, that's where the trophy will be lifted, and that ticket to Champions Week will be given out.
60.
This has kind of been the perfect week of preparation for him, because he's played in Group A, so he's had 5 days of highly competitive darts under pressure.
80.
Absolutely ideal for Saturday.
Yeah, and he said he didn't really have much practice coming into it, so he would have got that practice, the best kind of practice as well, going into finals night. Meulenkamp's an interesting case study. When you look
44.
at the averages from last night, he actually had the best by a margin, but that really inflated by one performance in that one match that he won, when he actually got an average of 171.15 and a 167 checkout in getting the better of Tony O'Shea.
Yeah, 167 was actually for the match as well.
140. Gert requires 144.
Well, a brilliant setup here from DeVos, meaning that he's going to get a couple of goes here anyway. No need to panic.
56.
I feel if there was sort of a pressure situation here,
40.
it has to be on
Gert
Meulenkamp.
requires 88.
Because he is outside those qualifying places at the moment, and if he is to not pick up a victory here, it's one of the players above him that will take the points.
48.
And then he's got to watch two players go head-to-head who are above him, which means he would go 6 points away from two of the players. He'd be playing for one place.
Yeah, but that might actually be preferable than
Gert requires
two
40.
players being 4 points above him.
Game shot in the
Oh,
first
DeVos
leg.
gets the
Gert
opening leg, and
DeVos.
if he wins here, and then FALLON SHERROck beats
Second
Ashley
leg,
Coleman,
we're on to throw first.
then we're going to
Game
have
on.
DeVos on 8, Coleman on 6, Sherrock on 6, Meulenkamp on 2. I get the sense that actually he might want Coleman to beat Sherrock and just have a straight battle with her for that one place. However, still in his own hands at the moment, and that is a defiant response from Ron.
100.
There's one thing we do know from the time that Ron Meulenkamp's had on the PDC Pro Tour, of which he had a lot of success, playing in events such as the Grand Prix, Players' Championship Finals, the World Championships. He would have seen all
60.
this before. He'd have been in this sort of position where he's needed to find something in a day to get into a qualifying position. Because yes, it's not as sort of tight-knit and close as a group here at the Super Series, but the order of merit when you're qualifying for those events, there's going to be times you need results to get yourself above that cut-off point.
Yeah, he's one of those players as well who
41.
you sort of, if you're a sort of casual watcher of darts, a bit more than casual, you watch some of the Pro Tours and stuff, don't really pay full attention to the rankings. At the time, a bit of a surprise to lose his tour card.
115.
Did seem like a relatively consistent player who featured in many of the TV events.
$28.
Nicknamed the Bomb. He has had some explosive moments as well. He's had a few little bits of needle with other players.
Has he had any here, has he, Murph?
56.
Actually, wasn't referring to that one. Well, there's been a few on the Pro Tour that really did explode.
84.
Meulenkamp.
Gert requires 112. $88. Ron requires 108.
I think he might. Is he thinking of going away, or is he just? Yeah, he's decided. I think when he first went to that, he's thinking treble, single, then double 16, but he changed his
Game
mind
on the
to
second
leave
leg.
tops.
Ron
And
Meulenkamp.
that's why.
Maybe a sign of
Third leg.
feeling a
Gert
little
to
bit
throw
edgy.
first.
just trying
Game
to make
on.
sure that he doesn't slip into that treble 19.
39.
Bit of luck here with the opening rejection from Gert DeVos. Meulenkamp needs to jump all over that.
It's an opportunity, an invitation. There's that loopiness in the action. You could see the reaction from Meulenkamp. He will
81.
know when he's doing it. He will feel when it's not been thrown correctly. And that's where that frustration will kick in.
60. $58. $100.
That That left-handed lob working perfectly that time for Meulenkamp. But again, it's a
68.
brilliant first dart and they're not able to make use of it.
Just not quite getting the extension, is he? It's just at that point of release,
92.
engaging the shoulder. So there's a lot of lift in there, which is again why you get that kick out of the dart to the side. Better. Better again, but you can see just from the facials how much he's having to force
60.
the issue and really drive through that dart.
$60.
It's a leg that you called it an opportunity after one
45.
visit, and there have been plenty of
Get
opportunities.
requires
But
150.
he ends up after 15 darts giving Gert de Vos 6 at 150.
57.
You might need every single one of them, and maybe more. It's been pretty dry in regards to the trebles this leg.
123. Get requires 93. Game shot in
Does
the
use them
third
all.
leg. Get DeVos.
But he had every right to. And the 93 checkout goes. Not the
Fourth leg. Ron to throw
best
first.
leg you'll see this week,
Game
but
on.
it'll be a good one for de Vos if it results in a win. As he's moved to 8 points, and he will be looking good. In fact, he'd only need one more win
100.
to guarantee his place, and that would be almost guaranteed anyway. Meulenkamp could only get to 8 at that point.
24.
Well, Gert de Vos alluded to it in his interview with you, didn't he, Chris, at the start of the day, that he feels his game's been a little bit inconsistent at times, and this could be the perfect
81.
example of those words, this match, because he started off very well in the first leg, and then since has been struggling to find any of the trebles.
Yeah, I'm no psychologist, but I did find that interesting that he mentioned that 2 or 3 times in the interview, his inconsistency.
180.
Highlighted in the last 6 darts, 24, followed by a max. But that's a story he's telling. He's painting that narrative. He's providing the context. So, ultimately, with that, you start
45.
to believe it.
Well, he's painting the perfect picture here, isn't he?
26.
Narrative. So the next visit from Gert de Vos is 3 trebles. Maybe a 171 to leave a ton.
105.
Show us how brilliantly inconsistent you are. That's what he was actually trying to do by going for the 19s.
101.
And he's sensible enough to make
Ron
that switch to
requires
leave the 170.
170.
Well, we're both on 170. We're going to get 2 cracks at the big fish. Meulenkamp can't reel it in.
94. Gert requires 170.
The most inconsistent leg of them all had Gert de Vos taken that one out.
100. Ron requires 76.
Consistently inconsistent, but I think the same accusation could be levelled towards Meulenkamp. Moments of brilliance. And then moments like that.
28. Gert requires 70.
And then just throws the last dart away. That could be vital here if Gert de Vos doesn't take out this 70.
Game shot on the fourth leg.
But he has no
Gert de
problems there
Vos.
from Gert de Vos. Breaks the throw of Ron Meulenkamp, and this could put Meulenkamp in big trouble
leg.
in regards to his
Gert to throw
qualification
first.
possibilities.
Game
Such a knife-edge game, this, because if de Vos wins it, which he looks like doing, he's pretty much through, and Meulenkamp's in a whole heap of trouble. If it goes the other way, de Vos is vulnerable,
58.
and Meulenkamp is looking good.
Always happens in a Group B, doesn't it? It's always one of those big turning matches around this time of the day.
49.
It just so happens to be, for the players, it's their first game of the day. So it all comes down to who's prepared better, who's practiced correctly,
99.
who's ready for the game. I think there'll be a lot of people ready for our next game. Fallon Sherrock, Ashley Coleman. Two very popular figures here at the Super Series.
140.
Both in very good positions. Certainly if Gert de Vos gets over the line here.
140.
On the night where the Olympic opening ceremony took place.
41.
If you can call it that, I've seen better openings of a fair. But no darts at the Olympics.
180.
Gert de Vos, though, taking a step closer to gaining a medal.
41. Gert requires 24.
Certainly be in the mix tomorrow if this goes in.
Game, shot,
And it does go
and the
in.
match. Gert de Vos.
De Vos gets a big win in every sense. A 4-1 success against Ron Meulenkamp that as good as puts Gert de Vos through to finals night and puts Meulenkamp himself in all sorts of trouble. There you see Meulenkamp actually only had one dart double in the entire match. That was at the end of a successful 108 combination. De Vos 4 out of 6 on the doubles, an average just shy of 90, and no doubt he deserved that victory that sees him move within a whisker of the Saturday showpiece. Fallon Sherrock and Ashley Coleman both hope to be there, and they'll go head-to-head after the break. So here at the Modus Super Series on Friday night, we've seen Gert de Vos take a step towards finals night tomorrow. Now, Ashley Coleman is looking to do the same. A win here for the Prince of Darkness would see him move on to 8 points along with de Vos at the top of the table. Victory, though, for Fallon Sherrock would see the 2022 Women's World Match Play champion, go on to 6 points alongside Coleman, who almost made it through from Group A earlier this week, missed out on leg difference. If she does that, then Ron Meulenkamp's night gets a little bit worse. And the game between him and Tony O'Shea would pretty much be about which one of them stays in with a chance. That's coming up after this one. But well, this was a bit of a slow burner last night. A.D. Mason
First leg,
overseeing
Fallon to throw
proceedings.
first.
It was a slow
Game on.
burner that ended with some fireworks, didn't it? And Ashley Coleman got the job done.
It felt like two players who were playing the situation at the time and
60.
maybe playing a little bit of tired darts as well due to the time of which the game was played. This one will be much more suitable.
140.
Two players who tend to start their evenings quite strong.
58.
Be plenty of eyes on the show tomorrow if both of them were to make it through.
43.
Ashley Coleman's got his own following. Fallon Sherrock got her own.
And we know quite a lot of tickets have gone already. Stuart Kellett's going to be bringing a couple of
96.
people down. They've been in contact with us throughout the afternoon to let us know they're going to be coming down to support their man as well. Could be quite the bumper evening.
180.
Yeah, do get yours. As Coleman fires in the first max of this match.
60. Ashley requires 138. 58.
Fallon's throw under threat very early on in this fixture.
140. Ashley requires 80.
Double 10.
70.
Sherrock gets a shot.
Fallon requires 87.
Gets a shot at the ball.
62. Ashley requires
Coleman.
10.
Going straight for it. Looks like a decent enough guide that.
Game on the first leg.
Didn't really use it. Got it in the
Ashley
corner, but he
Coleman.
does get the leg. Breaker throw as well. Perfect start for Ashley Coleman. Oh,
Second leg.
You would think if
Ashley
he
to
wins
throw
this match,
first.
Matthew,
Game
then you're looking at a race for one place between the remaining three players.
Yeah, absolutely.
on.
Antonio Shea would be the
140.
player with the game in hand, but I do feel he's more of a wild card this evening rather than a genuine contender.
Well, interesting for Tony, though.
42.
It would have fallen perfectly for him, both Ron Meulenkamp and Fallon Sherrock losing, then him playing both of those in successive games.
140.
Just whether or not he's got that level in him to do it over both of those matches.
We saw he had levels last night, but it's finding the levels consistently.
180.
Got some good consistent treble hitting from Fallon Sherrock. Already 2 maximums in the game.
91. 60. Ashley requires 130.
Plenty of time on this.
58. 83. Ashley requires 72.
So despite the maximum in the game for Fallon, he's left
32.
with a lot to do at the back end of
Fallon
the leg.
requires 136.
I think she said, "Where's that going?"
30. Ashley requires 40.
To double his advantage.
Game
Well, he
on the
does that.
second leg. Ashley Coleman.
I think he'll be pretty pleased and pretty proud as well of making it through to finals night should he get there.
Third leg, Fallon to throw first.
Didn't show
Game on.
any sign of disappointment at missing out in Group A. He felt that he would still make it through from Group B, and that's not always the case. We've seen players miss out
95.
on leg difference in Group A before and then not get through Group B. There are no guarantees.
You start all over again. You've got to do all the hard work again. And Ashley Coleman
177.
regrouped very, very quick, and part of that might come down to the sheer love he's got for the sport, in the fact that he's happy to play 5 days a week. He'd be happy to play 7.
100.
Where are you on the darts in the Olympics debate?
84.
Don't want to see it. I don't think we need it. I think it'd be good in a degree, but it's not what people think it'd be. It's not going to be Luke Humphries and Michael Smith. They won't be allowed to play in it due to the contracts of which they hold with the PDC. And who would be deciding who plays in it? But who would be the
58.
decision makers into the team?
Fallon requires 170.
We don't have a governing body.
And why reduce it to just... Why reduce the Olympics to just every
60.
4 years? Because basically, from what you're saying, the Modus Super Series is the darts version of the Olympics.
60. Fallon requires 110. $45. Ashley requires 122.
Fallon Sherrock slowly ambling around the first leg of her relay this evening.
65. Fallon requires 65. Yep.
Just checking that was the 25. So she could
Game
throw
shot
at
on the
that.
third
She
leg.
cuts the gap in
Fallon
this game
Sherrock.
from one leg.
Fourth leg, Ashley to throw first. Game on. $120.
Well, we were talking tickets earlier in the match. If you want to get yours,
100.
you still can, but they are going to go fast, particularly at the moments that these two players qualify, if that is the case.
125.
Have a little scan of that QR code. Get yourself onto the booking page at dartshop.tv and secure yours for as little as £2. I'll tell you now, we don't sell tickets on the
60.
door. However, if you get here around 4:30, see me in the pub next door. I'll do you some for a tenner.
41.
No, only place you can get them is dartshop.tv through that QR code. And get to rub shoulders with the
59.
players. And your good self, Matthew.
I think we're going to get a really good night.
65.
Conor Scott coming back as the favourite to see if he can pick up his first weekly title here and book himself in Champions Week. But we have an awful lot of competition
60.
for him to go
Ashley
through.
requires 150.
Another. Thanks for your comments in the
90.
chat room this evening as well. One of them says, opening ceremony for Series 9, please. What a good idea.
$94. Ashley
Well,
requires
this has been a bit of
60.
a closing ceremony for both Ashley Coleman and Gert DeVos because they
Game
might be
shot on
getting the job
fourth
done
leg.
in their
Ashley
first
Coleman.
games of the night. Seems to be going that way.
Fifth leg, Fallon to throw first. Game on. $60. $58. $140. $81. 134.
Well, Fallon Sherrock not out of it yet. 167
100.
remaining.
Fallon requires
She's got 2
167.
goes to reduce it to 0.
$60.
But only Shea's a little bit off, and if Ashley Coleman can find something big here,
78.
could have really forced the issue. Instead,
Fallon
Fallon
requires
Sherrock 6 starts from
107.
107.
$51. $100. Fallon requires 56.
So to keep clinging on. Double top. Makes use
Game
of the
shot on
marker.
the 5th leg. Fallon Sherrock.
Stays in the game.
Sixth leg. Ashley to throw first. Game on.
A reminder of the situation. If Coleman closes this out, he will be on 8 points with Gert DeVos at the top of the table. There would be a 4-point gap to Fallon Sherrock in 3rd place, and crucially, a 6-point gap to 4th and 5th, meaning those 2 would be
60.
as good as through. And Fallon on 4, Meulenkamp on 2, and O'Shea on 2, with a game in hand, would battle it out
85.
in all reality for the final spot.
Got to give full credit here to Ashley Coleman. When he's got the darts, he's opened up with something big on each occasion. Seems to always find a 2 treble shot,
140.
which is always making your opponent chase.
60. $60. $125.
Almost there. Dart in the 5 just offers a little bit of optimism to Sherrock. Makes the finish a little more awkward for Ash.
140. Ashley requires 95.
We've got choices on this. Went for double-double. I think he was going to go for it again, and that would have been a little bit
20.
silly, but he might have been better off.
Fallon requires
And he could hardly have been worse
101.
off.
Well, that could be a bit of a mistake there for Ashley Coleman. Still got a lot of work to do, a lot more than maybe he should have in this situation. And a lot more hope than Fallon
45.
Sherrock probably thought she was going to
Ashley
have.
requires 75. $35. Fallon
Opportunity
requires
knocks.
56.
This is for a break as well. Fallon will throw for the match if she takes this out. And she has taken it out.
6th leg. Fallon
One
Sherrock.
little moment of messiness from Ashley Coleman. And now, for the second night on the spin, it comes down
7th
to a
leg.
single leg
Fallon
between
to throw
this pair.
first. Game
I'm
on.
not even going to show I'm going to call it messiness. I'm going to call it poor decision making. Because from 95, he's only had 1 dart at a double.
140.
And a lot of that comes to the fact of throwing a dart off the board and then having to chase it around to get down. Fallon
100.
Sherrock now becomes the favourite.
Yeah, 1 dart in from 6 from 95. After that choice to go double-double and missing outside, then sort of carelessly lobbing in the 1. All start
42.
to unravel, but now Fallon is frustrated.
And it's not something we've really said about Ashley throughout the week.
96.
His decision making so far has been pretty much on point. He's let Fallon Sherrock back into this.
45.
But this is the kind of point of the game last night when it just exploded.
99.
Yeah, both players kind of did as well.
100.
Fallon forced him into action and he upped his level as well.
40.
Oh, that hurts.
Well, the last leg was poor decision making. This time it's just poor fortune, bad luck there for Ashley Coleman. When someone says they was unlucky, that's the definition of it. A bounce out in that situation to leave a no finish. Fallon Sherrock now 3 darts
98.
to get a turnaround victory against
40.
Ashley Coleman.
Wow.
No score.
Wrong bed.
Ashley requires 68.
Coleman gets a reprieve. Fallon can't believe it. Not the easiest, but
Game,
he's found
shot.
a way.
And the match, Ashley Coleman.
The slip into the wrong double from Fallon Sherrock has cost her in that match. Does it cost her her place at finals night tomorrow? Ashley Coleman, well, he is as good as there now. 8 points amassed from this group. 3 games for him left to play. Another 4-3 win against Fallon Sherrock, and another dramatic ending to their duel. Him and DeVos are looking good. Fallon Sherrock now is the one that Ron Meulenkamp and Tony O'Shea are chasing, and they're going to be in action after the break.
Ashley Coleman may have just put 1 foot through the door in regards to getting his first appearance here on a Saturday night. He now extends his position over Ron Meulenkamp by 6 points. 3 players will qualify from this group, so he does have a bit of a cushion, a bit of a buffer now. But Ron Meulenkamp, an opportunity to close that gap, not just on Ashley Coleman, but on Fallon Sherrock in regards to a qualification place. This is the first time this evening, though, we are going to get a look at the 63-year-old from Stockport, Tony O'Shea, player who hasn't been playing a lot of darts this year. Last time we've seen at the Super Series was back in January, and that's the last time we've seen him play anything at this sort of level. We did watch him last night. It was a little bit hit and miss at times, but there were flashes of the old Tony O'Shea in there. But when we come into a day number 2, the question marks do begin to arise. Can he play back-to-back days?
First leg, Ron to
A
throw
player
first.
who has been suffering
Game on.
with a little bit of arthritis. Well, I say a little bit. At one point, it was so unmanageable he couldn't really even throw his darts. So he'll be more than happy to be able to get up there and throw anything like a
41.
competitive game.
He's been going for injections to numb the pain.
81.
And he'll be heading back to, well, the injector, I suppose, next week.
Ron
140. Meulenkamp would have been injected with a bout of urgency right now, because if he is to lose this, I would say his race is pretty much run.
40.
He'd have to beat Fallon Sherrock and hope for results to go his way.
Whoever wins the match after this will be confirmed as through. Ashley Coleman and Gert DeVos taking each other on.
55.
But in all likelihood, they are both through.
95.
But this was the head-to-head clash which Ron Meulenkamp was able to produce his best yesterday. It was the best not just of Ron Meulenkamp, but of the whole group, and by quite a significant distance. Average of 101.15.
25. Ron
Maybe he just
requires
finds something a bit relaxing about
132.
playing Tony O'Shea, because maybe he expects a moment like that from Tony where he's just going to get that little bit of extra cushion.
92.
Yeah, less stress for him.
$23. Ron requires 40. Game's on the first leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
Meulenkamp looking assertive, looking determined at the start of this
Second leg. Tony to throw first.
one. Knows the
Game
importance
on.
of it. If he wins it, you do start to cast your eye to that fixture later in the evening.
60.
His last, when he takes on Fallon Sherrock. Could that be decisive in determining who makes it through, who seals the final spot at finals night?
45.
Lots of support for Tony O'Shea in the chat room on YouTube. No surprise there. He was always a very well-supported player.
59.
Anywhere he applied his darts, and whether that was in the Grand Slam, the Lakeside, the World Masters, or on the exhibition circuit, where Tony O'Shea is a very, very popular figure.
100.
Everyone loves a bit of "Hey Baby."
Always had a throw that's easy on the eye as well. Tony O'Shea,
41.
in his pomp, in his heyday, made it look so simple, the type you would try and copy. And then there's Ron Meulenkamp.
60.
I did once say, and meant no offence to Ron at all, I did once say when he was on the Pro Tour that he actually had the throw that I least liked watching, Ron Meulenkamp. There was just so much going on. It
135.
felt like hard work just watching it, never mind trying it.
So naturally, he did that thing where you say "no offence," but, and then say the most offensive thing you've possibly ever said.
100.
It depends, I suppose, if that throw is something he's worked on or whether that's how it comes naturally to him. Because if it's not his fault, then he can't take offence by it. But if he's decided that's exactly how he wants to throw his darts, then yeah, I have offended you, Ron, and for that,
77.
I'm not sorry. Tell me about your throw, Matt. Is that something that you've just had
41.
since
Tony
you first picked up a dart, and that's how you throw, and
129.
it's just a evolution of that?
Yeah, throws evolve, don't they? They adapt very slightly. You take on
40.
characteristics. You
Ron
tweak certain
requires
things.
155.
But I think we'll see a lot more in terms of throw evolution, because players picking up the sport so young, body composition's going to
97.
change, height's going to change.
Tony requires 89.
They've got to sort of relearn and rebuild.
64. Ron
Ron
requires
Meulenkamp looking to
58.
rebuild his chances here in Group B. And a breaker throw here would be a good step forward.
Game shot in the
Gets
second
it.
leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
Not that he's throwing particularly well, but O'Shea's struggling here.
Third leg. Ron to throw first. Game on.
And even then, he did have a dart to win that leg. $140. 60. $97. 85. $180.
This is something Ron Meulenkamp must like about playing Tony O'Shea. Because he's bringing out all his very best against Tony O.
60. Ron requires 84.
Yeah, he's been kind of something you said at the start of the match
44.
seems to have come to pass, that because he knows that Tony O'Shea is not going to consistently throw incredible darts at him, he's got better almost as a result of that. That confidence that there's
100.
not really anything coming
Ron
back.
requires 40. Game shot on the third leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
And those fears and reservations it feels around Tony O'Shea
Fourth
will be
leg.
justified
Tony to throw
tonight.
first. Game on.
Looking like it could be a long evening for Tony O. Although the performance isn't there, though, I think he'll be quite happy just to be
100.
throwing the darts with a little bit of freedom. They're sort of going in at consistent angles. Probably all things he's really struggled with the release over the past few months.
Also worth just making the point
58.
at this stage. Who knows if leg difference is going to come into play some point tonight. So a healthy win would be just what the doctor ordered for Ron
42.
Meulenkamp after a heavy defeat in his first match. Beaten 4-1 by Ron Meulenkamp if you weren't with us. Sorry, by Gert DeVos, but you could say he was beaten by himself.
125. $40. $58. $100.
Ideal dart there for Meulenkamp. So
135.
good that he decided to stay with it rather than moving away to the 25 to try and leave the finish. He fancied that the first dart was going to help.
59. Ron requires 125.
Could start on the bullseye. Can't now finish. He used that as a marker, didn't he?
60. Tony requires 160.
So for a comfortable win for
50.
Ron Meulenkamp,
Ron requires
and to
65.
get him level on points with Fallon Sherrock.
$45. Tony requires
Is there a moment
110.
for Tony O? Can O'Shea? Oh, no, he can't. So Ron returns. to seal the
35.
whitewash win.
Ron requires 20. Game.
He does.
Chop.
He
And the
gets it
match.
done 4-0.
Ron Meulenkamp.
Brilliant by the ball. O'Shea struggled in that one, but it's Meulenkamp who gets off the mark for the night. Coming next, the winner will go through. It's Coleman against DeVos. Welcome back to the Modus Super Series, where Gert DeVos and Ashley Coleman are fighting it out to be crowned as the first player through from Group B to finals night. Whoever wins this will get to the magic number of 10 points and will secure their spot at the Saturday showpiece here at the Live Lounge in Portsmouth. Don't forget you can be here as well. Tickets available from dartshop.tv for as little as £2. Connor Scott, Colin Osborne, Stuart Kellett already there. And
First
the
leg,
victor
Ashley to
in
throw
this
first.
match will join them.
Game on. $96.
Places starting to fill now for Saturday night. After this game, more than half the field will be confirmed.
100.
We've had quite a few questions. People trying to work out if Ashley Coleman is already in, if he's already qualified.
95.
He's in a very good position, but he will be certain to be in if he is able to beat Gert DeVos here. However, Gert DeVos has only lost one game in this group so far, and that came at
37.
the hands of Tony O'Shea.
Yeah, it's so strong for both of these players now that only leg difference could knock them out.
60.
Because Meulenkamp can only get to 8 points. FALLON SHERROCK could get to more than that, but for Meulenkamp to get to 8, he'd have to beat her, therefore she could only get to 8. And Tony O'Shea, with 3 games
100.
left, can also only get to 8. So they're not going to get overtaken by any more than one player.
100.
They're going to need huge swings, not just in results, but in legs as well. for either of these two not to make it. I think if you want to see either of them, and that's what is
39.
your motivation for
Ashley
booking tickets,
requires
you should just go ahead and do it now.
150. $103. $79. Ashley requires 47. 27. Gert requires 146.
Big ask from Gert de Vos, but he's already treated us to a couple of big finishes this week already. That would have been the biggest in regard to the
72.
context.
Ashley requires 20. Game John in the first leg. Ashley Coleman.
Coleman draws first blood.
Second leg. Gert to throw first. Game on. $59. $100. $83. $140.
I think one of the things that was really impressive about Ashley Coleman is he just looks totally
45.
unfazed by situations. He was
85.
under the pump in that Group A campaign, never really wavered. It was more to do with the brilliance from Connor Scott that took Ashley Coleman out of
40.
position. And in a game like this, where he can guarantee his position in Saturday night, he seems to be raising it again.
42.
Yeah, didn't go crying into his coffee, did he, after missing out? Despite such a good campaign, Ashley Coleman, he just carried on. Kept his head up.
Well, he saw it as a positive, didn't he?
82. Ashley requires 134.
He took all the positives, all the good things he did, rather than the fact he just missed out. And he only did miss out on leg difference. And that's for a guy who's
110.
won the pentathlon, a Challenge Tour event. He's winning on the Pro Tour in Connor Scott.
40. Ashley requires 24.
This is for a breaker throw and a bit of control here for Ashley Coleman.
18. Gert requires 152.
Just threatened the finish for a moment there.
82.
To Voss.
Ashley requires 6.
Coleman at the bottom of the board. Now to the top of it. Just in the single.
4.
Not in the double, and an opportunity out of
Gert
nowhere here for
requires
his opponent.
70. Game John, the second
Well, it
leg.
looked very, very
Get
comfortable there for
divorced.
Ashley Coleman. We started singing his praises around the fact that he's not letting opportunities slip and he's rising to the
Third
occasion.
leg, Ashley to throw
And Gert
first.
de Vos just
Game on.
stumbles over the line.
60.
I've noticed a lot of the followers of Ashley Coleman, they do use this expression, pod squad.
140.
And it took me a while to, first of all, understand what it meant. Now I realise Prince of Darkness, POD squad.
83.
But do you know what I thought it said first? I thought it said Pog Squad. Do you know, remember those little milk cat pogs we used to get in like 1996?
Well, don't say we when you mean I, but yeah, I know what you mean.
46.
You surely had some pogs. Everyone had pogs.
140.
Someone referring to him now as the Prince of Suffolk in the chat.
42.
I'm still liking what we discussed earlier on in the week, the Prince of Dartness.
that'd be the pod squad.
180.
Worth a change. 'Cause
100.
He's certainly been letting his darts do the
Ashley
talking.
requires 38. No score.
Well, some games you can have that, can't you?
Yeah, that'd be a different format, wouldn't it? Maybe a specials week.
57. Ashley requires 38.
This time chooses to split. But still,
6.
doesn't hit.
Gert requires 116.
For another steal for Gert de Vos, it's wayward. Coleman will return.
32. Ashley requires 32.
Again, has to move right the way across to the right-hand side to try and open up the target.
16. Gert requires 84.
Oh, it's getting very nervy, very tense.
37.
Some wayward
Ashley
darts, some
requires 16.
big misses on the singles. Some missed doubles. It's all to play for.
14.
And Ashley Coleman's finishing here a long way off a par. He's had one hit from 18 darts at a double. And we could have a steal once again here for Gert de Vos.
9. Ashley requires 2. Game shot on the third leg.
Gets there
Ashley
in
Coleman.
the end.
Fourth leg. Gert to throw first. Game on.
Going back to Pog's ego chip, said he actually hated them. Well, Chris Murphy, since
58.
being reminded of them, has been on a auction site buying a few.
$180.
A really interesting question. And you know which one that I'm going to go
42.
for, you don't you? Might not be wise to do it while he's on a 9 darter. Right, he's not. Lee in the chat. Why do we never hear you having a drink or something to eat during commentary? Not quite sure how to answer that.
Well, we do have
I do it.
we do have
99.
comms cam. Maybe you could give people what they want to see, and they could see you have a swig of your Dr Pepper Zero.
Note the
83.
0. But anyway, I hope that answers your question. Basically, I move my microphone away from my mouth while I'm chewing.
44. Ashley requires 98. Game shot in the fourth
Ashley
leg.
Coleman gobbles that
Ashley
up.
Coleman.
A dozen darter for the 98.
Fifth leg. Ashley to throw first. Game on.
But yeah, we do like your questions in the chat, so keep them coming.
45.
Cheers, Lee. Other brands are available.
45. $100.
To be fair, wasn't there in the live league, didn't it want cuts to mace when you was in the middle eating a pie?
Yeah, if anyone
100.
remembers the old format, the commentator was a one-man band, commentator, pundit, presenter, and the
60.
camera used to cut back to the commentary box between every leg. And Mace did once forget this, and he was just took it into a steak and kidney, and
95.
suddenly saw himself on the screen.
41. 100.
We have to replenish ourselves when we can.
95.
Anyway, back to the serious
Gert
stuff.
requires
Because
161.
Ashley Coleman here is 160 away from qualifying for finals night.
97. Ashley
Two
requires
treble
160.
20s for a dart at his beloved tops.
42. Gert requires 64.
To delay it.
Game
And
shot
he
in
may
the
yet
fifth
take
leg.
it himself, Gert
Gert
DeVos here.
DeVos. Sixth leg. Gert to throw first. Game on.
Well, he's rallying here, DeVos.
100.
Maybe just sense a little bit of anticipation.
85. $39. 41. 121.
Before a dart was thrown, said he can be inconsistent. He's only got to be good for a matter of 2 more minutes here. And he could completely
83.
turn this one around.
$80.
And a lot of darts on the floor, has he, Gert DeVos? Not just tonight, but throughout the week.
41. Gert requires 161.
It's not affected his opportunity here, though. Time on his side.
25.
But Ashley Coleman would have the darts in a deciding leg should it go that far. And he's already had success tonight in a deciding leg because he did go all the way against FALLON SHERROck.
57.
And he got over the
Gert
line
requires
4 legs to 3.
136.
Couldn't land her next door
96.
neighbour, but does leave it handy. This is interesting now.
100. Gert requires 40. Game shot in the
We
sixth
go
leg.
the distance.
Gert DeVos.
One leg will determine which of these players go through at this stage. It should be said. It's very likely that both end up
Seventh
going
leg.
through.
Ashley to throw first. Game on.
But if the miraculous
83.
capitulation happened and one of them didn't, they'd look back on this game, particularly Ashley Coleman, who seemed to have it in the palm of his hand.
10.
But we have seen Gert DeVos in last leg shootouts in this sort of situation already this week. Just
60.
completely non-perform. We saw it yesterday when he did take his only defeat against Tony O'Shea. Scored about 100 points in 9 darts.
80. 60.
This is one of those games that's not about the standards and the
96.
levels. It's about what it means. About who can hit that one big shot at the time it means the most.
92.
That time is right now. Gert DeVos needs a couple of trebles.
59.
Coleman now spraying them around.
31.
And had he stopped to think there, just looked a little disappointed.
135.
Just lobbed the last dart, and DeVos is first to a finish. Again, it's a
46.
drifter. He's
Gert
a game
requires
drifting away from Ashley Coleman.
121.
Well, he's thrown 18 darts, and in a last leg shootout with the throw, if you get
Ashley
18
requires
darts, you're normally saying thank you very
129.
much.
Options here. 72 left. It's two doubles. Two double 18s.
115. Gert
Bizarre
requires
leave
36.
as well. Coleman's kind of got to pieces a little bit towards the end of the match. But he may
No
still
score.
win the match.
Ashley requires 14.
His choice to leave that.
No score.
And wow, wow.
Gert requires 36.
Head's gone. And we've not really seen that all week.
No score.
Neither player can cross
Ashley
the line.
requires 14.
Until
Game,
Coleman
shot.
could.
And the match,
with that,
Ashley Coleman.
Ashley Coleman is through to the Modus Super Series finals night. Yeah, it was hard work in the end, wasn't it, Ash? But he has made it. He is there. A war of attrition between himself and Gert DeVos, who are battling for top spot in this group. But it is Coleman who goes through after both players passed up multiple darts at double to get there. Coleman is safe. DeVos should get through. We'll see more from him later in the evening. FALLON SHERROCK now looking to put herself in the best possible position to join them. She takes on Tony O'Shea after the break.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Lounge.
They've both got the talent where they just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only
needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
Shot on the third leg.
Is
Reece
that
Robinson.
the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Ross Smith, is it a
Darius Labanowski.
9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot on the
Oh,
mark.
he gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total
Game shot on the
agreement
second
because
leg. Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just
Darius
like that.
Labanowski.
only needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality comparison. If this would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him. And is. It was a great guide.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas
It's a
Harrison.
breaker throw for Andres Harrison.
Shot on the second leg. Cam Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw. Double 16 is found.
And he does lead.
The fifth leg. Shot on the
It's not an
sixth
11,
leg.
but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison.
Well, the marathon game has just completed, but a very important one for Ashley Coleman, who has now confirmed his place through to Saturday night. A 4-3 success over Gert DeVos leaves Gert DeVos waiting, But the nature of the results, the fact that it was close in regards to the legs, still keeps Gert de Vos in a very strong position to book his place into Saturday night. Fallon Sherrock currently holding third position. She's going to need wins, she's going to need points, and she's taking on Tony O'Shea, who is currently sat bottom of the table and really struggled in his opening fixture. Tony O'Shea returning to the action following a bout with arthritis. Is due some
First
more
leg,
injections.
Tony to throw first.
That coming
Game
in the
on.
next week. So we don't know what to expect from Tony O'Shea in regards to the overall levels. And that can also bring with it its
55.
own nerves and its own anticipation, because Fallon will not know what to expect from Tony. And who knows when he's just going to burst into life. And he only needs to do it for a
60.
matter of minutes over this short format. And he can cause some surprises. Just like he did yesterday when he was the only player to get a win over Gert de Vos.
59.
Do you feel it's must win for Sherrock?
60.
What we can decipher from tonight is that every game is winnable, because the two players that, well, one has gone through, the other one looks like he's going through with
55.
them in de Vos. With the qualified Coleman, haven't played great, have they, this evening?
57.
No, it's been a bit edgy, hasn't it, so far this evening? I think everyone knows what's on the line tonight. It's a tight group. People just want to try and get it done the easy way in regards to the scoreboard.
43.
But ultimately, you've got to go through it.
Pretty much confirms that O'Shea won't be going through if he loses this game.
43.
He'd be 4 points adrift of Fallon. In fact, he
100.
definitely wouldn't be, would he? Because Fallon, Sherrock and Meulenkamp have to play each other, so that'd be it.
140. 96. Fallon requires 141.
For the first leg, here's an opportunity.
95. Tony requires 93.
Good start. Had a little smile to himself because that was
73.
very close,
Fallon
hitting the double
requires
three.
46.
Just maybe took a bit of confidence out of the next throw.
Game
That's a
on the
confidence
first
builder there
leg.
for Fallon
Fallon
Sherrock.
Sherrock.
Gets the breaker throw over Tony O.
Second leg. Fallon to throw first. Game on.
I am a huge fan, as you know, Chris, of assumption
100.
games. We had a game of it this afternoon as well, and our chat's doing very, very similar, trying to guess what flavoured crisps people may enjoy. Tony O'Shea. Pickled
82.
onion Space Raiders seems to be the popular selection right now. From what I remember of Tony O'Shea, I believe he was one of these like chili crisps, you know, like the more hot and spicy.
134.
The red pack of Doritos ones. I'm going to join in with you guys. We are interactive here. I think Fallon would
45.
like something a bit more flavour, maybe like paprika.
I could take it a step further here, Matthew, if you really want to go
40.
down some sort of route like this. Do you remember in the mid-90s when the footballers had crisps named after them?
Yes, was it Salt and Lineker?
It was, yeah. Cheese and Owen, Smokey Beckham.
100.
We could do that with darts players. Give us your suggestions in the chat.
180.
Brilliant darts from Sherrock.
Do you know what? Being able to answer that question and give you one of the answers
58.
makes me
Fallon
question my
requires
knowledge.
47.
Well, look, we might have everything solved pretty quickly tonight, so give us your suggestions and we might indulge a little more later in the
39.
evening.
$25.
One
Fallon
just
requires
didn't penetrate
8.
the board. Not enough force on the dart.
Game on the second leg.
And the
Fallon
wait
Sherrock.
continues for Tony O'Shea. He lost 4 legs to 0 to Ron Meulenkamp. He's now lost 6 on the bounce.
Third leg. Tony to throw first. Game on.
Yeah, you did suggest at the start of the night, Matthew, that you thought Tony would struggle more tonight than he did last night, and it's proving to be the case so far.
45. $180.
Superstar. Second maximum of the match for Fallon.
92.
She was fancying that, wasn't she? She thought she could do it again. She has hit the big 9 darter on that stage.
56.
Still the most watched video on the Modus Super Series YouTube channel.
Yeah, after another one, maybe tomorrow. We haven't seen a 9 darter at a finals night yet.
37.
Referee A.D. Mason there going above and beyond. What a gent.
23. Fallon requires 144. $112.
Well, Fallon's left it perfectly placed here. Again, O'Shea's struggles go on.
125. Fallon requires 32. Game shot on the third leg. Fallon Sherrock.
13 darter there.
Fourth leg. Fallon to throw first. Game on.
All very comfortable at the moment for Fallon Sherrock. But Tony O'Shea, it's got to be said, has walked into a couple of performances tonight
100.
as well. I wonder if he's gone in tonight and played the card and let everyone know he's struggling a little bit, which has just maybe made people a little bit comfortable around him.
140.
Right, it's all starting to gear up to that 8th game of the night between Sherrock and Meulenkamp, isn't it? Meulenkamp plays
100.
Ash Coleman next. Will have the chance to join Fallon Sherrock on 6 points, which is how many she'll have if she gets one more leg in this match.
58.
She is on that amount. Her last game of the night is against Gert de Vos. But you would expect him to be through by then,
41.
as he plays Tony before that, even though Tony did get a victory against the Belgian last evening.
This might be a tactic we see
95.
employed by Tony O'Shea later on in the day. There, it's the right shot. He's trying to leave the 170, but if he does keep struggling at the top end of the board, we may see him start to utilise the 19s.
140.
So good at that dart when he
100.
puts one underneath and it looks
Fallon
like he's blocked
requires
it. He's just had a
120.
lifetime of experience at getting past them. Fallon Sherrock might be about to get past him.
80.
Can't quite ice the cake.
Tony requires
And
108.
O'Shea gets an opportunity.
We'll get a dart at a double.
92.
Not going to go.
Fallon
It could all
requires
be over
40.
for Tony O.
Game.
That is
Shot. And the match.
the
Fallon
match
Sherrock.
winning double for Fallon Sherrock. A whitewash win over Tony O'Shea. whose chances disappear. And Sherrock's is strengthened. She moves on to 6 points. She sits in 3rd place, 2 clear of Ron Meulenkamp, who is chasing, and the bomb is back after the break when he takes on the already qualified Ashley Coleman.
Hang on a minute.
Wow! Oh my God! Well, that's 100 quid down the drain already.
Itching to hit the 180.
He's gone for the maximum.
18 for the bull. Bull.
53.
No, he said bull. That's a great first start from Adam. Oh, look at this. He's going to leave Skate.
Oh, can you believe it? That is unbelievable. Get match darts to put his team into the final. And through to the final they go. Charlie Murphy has hit the match-winning dart on both occasions. Number 4 for the title.
Please show your appreciation for the winner of the Influencer Pairs event, George Scaife and Adam Lipscomb.
He seems to be out. That's what he is. Charlie Murphy. A couple more visits yet. We're not going to need that.
Oh, Bosch.
Pie Face is through.
And he's absolutely buzzing.
It was a game with that Pie Face dominated throughout.
Welcome back to the halfway stage of the evening, and we know that Ashley Coleman has made it through. We'll just show you what has happened in the first half of the fixtures, and those 2 wins enough to see Coleman qualify. Both of them 4-3 though, Matt, so it could have gone differently actually for the Prince of Darkness tonight.
Very much so, because not only that, he had match darts against him, 2 handfuls of darts by Gert de Vos. He held it together just about at the right times. The main thing, though, no matter how he's done it, Ashley Coleman is now into Saturday night for the very first time here at the Super Series. Yes, he stumbled a bit towards the end, but on the balance of play across the week, he has more than deserved his place on Saturday's lineup.
Yeah, let's just talk about the way he has kind of fallen over the line in those games, because it's kind of different to Group A, where he was dominant all the way through, but didn't make it. Tonight we've seen, maybe for the first time, a little bit of nervousness, but ultimately he's there.
Yeah, and he's where he wants to be now, and that's the most important thing. Sometimes it's harder to get where you want to be, to get through to the big event. Qualifying for the World Championship, I always found more nervy than actually playing at the World Championship, because that's the reward. Tomorrow night's going to be the reward now for Ashley Coleman for all the work and effort he's put in, because he's put a lot of effort in over the last year to develop his game to where it is now, to the levels that what we have seen this week. People have seen a lot in him. All I've heard all week is how much Ashley Coleman's improved and how he's caught a couple of people out. They're going to be very, very wary of Ashley Coleman tomorrow night, because he could be a threat for this title.
I suppose the question now is who's joining him?
Well, Gert de Vos looks likely to. He's pretty much there. It's legs difference that can rule him out of that situation. Fallon Sherrock looked good there against Tony O'Shea in her performance, but yet so did Ron Meulenkamp against Tony O'Shea. You said earlier on in the night a lot's going to come down to that head-to-head, and I think that's going to be the case.
Yep, and we saw DeVos there beating Meulenkamp. There's that game later on between Meulenkamp and Sherrock. We'll just show you the table because that could prove to be pivotal in the end. She currently has a 2-point lead over Meulenkamp, but they do still meet each other. DeVos, if he wins his next match, will be through, or wins one of his last 2 matches, will be through. And Tony O'Shea is all but out of it at the bottom on 2 points. Have you seen any reason to worry for Gert DeVos? He'll get those 2 wins. He might not even need them, but is there any chance of him not getting them?
Just keep games close. As long as he doesn't lose a game 4-0, I think he'll be fine. He's got plenty in the legs column there. He'd need a lot of results to go against him. Just stay close to the opponent. Don't get whitewashed, and he should be through.
So officially 2 places left up for grabs at finals night to join Connor Scott, who won Group A. Ashley Coleman now through from Group B, and the remaining players in contention, DeVos, Sherrock and Meulenkamp. And Group C this afternoon, Stuart Kellett and Colin Osborne. Are you still sticking with Connor Scott as the man to beat?
I've seen nothing at the moment to suggest otherwise. Connor Scott looks the man to beat this week, and I said it before, I'm going to stick with it. I'm going to say the man to beat this series. He gets through this, he's going to win this series.
Right, let's just have a little look now at next week's lineup. Connor Heenahan returning, the king of the 9 darter here. Tom Lonsdale in Group A, along with Simon Adams from South Africa. Thomas Banks, the youngster's been playing great stuff as well. Scott Mitchell out of the comms box and onto the stage in Group B. Steve Hines played some good stuff. Yesterday, you spoke a little bit about Jamie Atkins being a threat. Does that week look like a week where nobody's really the standout player?
Yeah, I'd be really interested to see where they go as the favourite for this one. Maybe Scott Mitchell on the base of experience might be the way they go with this, but looking across that, I don't know who you would make favourite, but with that, I'd make maybe 3 or 4 of them very, very similar odds at the top of that.
Yep, absolutely. Well, we'll go back into comms and get back on with this week, but next week does look to be a fantastic lineup. It all gets underway on Monday.
Number 16, Steve Hine makes it a moot point.
Mitchell 161. And taken superbly.
This could mean.
Oh, and he finds the ball.
Yeah, week 9 of Series 8 underway, 9:30 a.m. on Monday. But right now, it's all about trying to get to the finals night on week 8. And Ashley Coleman is already there. Ron Meulenkamp determined to try and join him and may need to win this match to really keep his hopes alive.
First leg, Ron to throw first. Game on.
Do you see this as sort of must win? Do you think Ron does have to win each of his last 2 games here?
I think this is definitely must-win territory for him, because if he does lose this, he'll be 2 points away from Fallon Sherrock.
100.
Fallon Sherrock will have a game in hand, so she will have 2 opportunities. One of them will be in the head-to-head with Ron Meulenkamp, where she would have the advantage of the throw. And if she was to lose that, she's still got a game with Gert DeVos in the final game of the day as a bit of a safety net. But now Ashley Coleman's through, we may lose those nervy darts that we saw a little bit earlier on. We go back to that free-flowing, free-feeling
100
player that we've seen throughout the rest of the week. Just looking ahead to next week as we was the YouTube chat. Looking forward to some of the players that they're going to see. There's a lot of support and a lot of love in there for the Muffin Man, Steve Hine.
60.
Making his return to the stage. Always seems to navigate himself a route into Saturday night. And every time I've been here when the Muffin Man's been in, I've never got myself one of those muffins. which he famously throws out to the crowd at the big events.
$140. Ashley requires 121.
Bullseye.
96.
Was for a breaker throw.
Ron requires 101.
Meulenkamp, same sort of equation, needs to find a treble. Doesn't find it. Doesn't matter how close he gets or how many times he looks, it's still not going to be in. Actually, Coleman's going to get an opportunity. An opportunity that I'm sure Fallon Sherrock will be watching with keen
25.
interest.
No score.
Well, he's kind of spilled over from the previous match. He did win it, but he was doing all kind of things like that by accident. Went for a single 17 to leave double 4. Ended up hitting the treble and busting his score. Meulenkamp gets a gift wrap chance.
42.
Now, does Coleman
Ashley requires 25.
employ a different route? I mean, that is
Game on the first
safer
leg.
than safe, isn't it?
Ashley Coleman.
That's playing darts down the pub and you're on
Second leg,
25
Ashley
and
to
someone
throw
says, well, look, there are
first.
4
Game
odd
on.
numbers next to each other. Just chuck it at those.
140.
I'm really excited to see Ashley Coleman on a Saturday night. I'd be really intrigued to see how he handles the occasion, the more cutthroat nature of the games.
77.
A little bit of atmosphere in here as well that we're expecting tomorrow evening.
58.
And of course, the opportunity to play for what would be his biggest paycheck in the game so far.
40.
Now he's cooking.
171.
Second maximum visit of the game here for Ashley Coleman. Meulenkamp with lots of work to do.
58. Ashley requires 132.
Didn't need to
126.
entertain the idea of the bullseye there, Ashley Coleman, but he's ended up with something a little bit tricky here. We've seen him opt to split on doubles before. With Meulenkamp way back, we may see a split here.
117. Ashley requires 6.
He didn't hit it
No
like
score.
that. There was a stream once, and I think the player tried to hit a double-double against him, so Ashley hit a treble-double. 18 finish, 3 double threes.
Everything's just awkward. I mean, he's won 2 awkward legs on the spin across 2 matches. Now he's looking to win
Ashley
a third.
requires 6. No score.
May still win it, but
Ron
only
requires
if Meulenkamp doesn't clean up 1, 2,
124.
4.
$71. Ashley requires 6.
That is awkward.
4.
Opted
Ron
to split on that
requires
occasion, ended up in the
53.
madhouse. He's had 3 handfuls of darts here to get the job done.
$13. Ashley requires 2. No score.
So we're looking forward to seeing Ashley Coleman on a
Run
Saturday night. One
requires
thing that's going
40.
to be very, very important here is that Ashley Coleman will have to increase his doubles percentage on what we are seeing tonight. But it's catching. It's contagious.
20. Ashley requires 2.
Well, at least it's there, and he can work his way down to it.
No score.
Could not have got much closer.
Ron requires 20. No score. Ashley requires 2.
No score, no words.
Game on the second leg.
Gets there in the
Ashley
end.
Coleman.
Ashley Coleman, who's 2-0 up in this game, despite missing 18 darts at double.
Third leg.
2
Ron
from
to throw
20.
first.
Ashley
Game
Coleman,
on.
he was 4 from 25 in the last. So the doubles causing him plenty of troubles here at the moment, but
81.
he's still ahead. 2-0. Meulenkamp not able to capitalise. And how ironic would this be?
125.
This is a guy who's only lost 4 matches out of 21 played this week.
100.
One of the best ever
60.
second place campaigns in Group A, missing out by the narrowest of margins with 24 points.
40.
Meulenkamp just throwing that last one away. I think he's starting to get frustrated. I think it's starting to boil over for him. And just to add to the frustration,
140.
his throw is now under threat. Meulenkamp's just
44.
got to hope and believe that those misses for Coleman are going to keep coming again.
140. $64. Ashley requires 36.
Well,
18.
here we go again.
$78. Ashley requires 18. Game on the third leg. Ashley Coleman.
Despite the 23 missed starts at a double, he's 3-0 up and cruising. And that was a breaker
Fourth
throw,
leg.
a double
Ashley
breaker
to
throw.
throw first. Game on.
Coleman now looking to serve it out and dish up a 4-0 defeat on Ron Meulenkamp. That would be so damaging. So we've just looked
58.
at the wins at the moment. We haven't even thought about the legs difference because I don't think we saw such a sizable scoreline coming. But if Coleman is to get this, Ron Meulenkamp's going to be
94.
10 legs behind FALLON SHERROCK and 2 points.
Yeah, great point.
58.
And he'll only have the game against her left. So he can swing a lot of those legs, but he's going to have to beat FALLON SHERROCK massively. That is her next game, but she'll have another chance. So it sort of becomes out of his hands because even if he does
58.
win that match in the biggest margin possible, she could just go and beat DeVos in the end and it wouldn't have mattered.
85. $100. $100. 139. 60. Run requires 110.
Well,
Game shot on the fourth leg. Meulenkamp.
Meulenkamp stays in it, keeps fighting. And we said at the start of the match,
Fifth
it maybe
leg,
must
Ron
win.
to throw first. Game on.
Every leg he wins could be crucial. Because we were just talking about it, not only is he going to have to beat FALLON SHERROCK, he's going to have to
140.
beat her by a big scoreline. Unless he can turn this around and win this
100.
match.
He was in big danger there, wasn't he? Actually, Coleman throwing for the match, and that would have put him a leg away from being eliminated. That is how close and how the situation is in peril.
131.
But he's digging deep now, and he can't believe it. He's shaking his head, thinking,
81.
where has this come from? But he's just trying to get on with it. He's trying to get into a flow. He's just trying to throw with a bit more pace.
140.
He probably doesn't understand the situation right now the same way that we do, in that every leg
60.
right now just
Run
gives
requires
him
90.
a much bigger opportunity.
Brushing a bit there.
70.
Really has got his skates on, hasn't he, in this leg?
He's throwing angry darts, isn't he, Ron Meulenkamp? And it's working for him.
40. Ron requires 20.
A score of 40, and that's the amount of double attempts we've seen in this match.
$10.
We looked at Coleman's score there. Would he have not been better if he's not going to really attack it, using that dart to leave a better double?
60. Ron requires 10. Game shot in the fifth leg.
Last dart in hand,
Ron
closes the gap a
Meulenkamp.
little more.
There's not been an exhibition
Sixth
of finish
leg.
in this game.
Ashley to throw first.
Between the
Game
pair,
on.
41 missed doubles. We've only played 5 legs.
135. 60. 60. 100.
Well, as we've said, with every leg he wins, he's keeping his hopes alive, strengthening those opportunities. But the best way to strengthen them would be to win the match. He's going to have to hit big in the next couple of visits.
$140. 45.
And he has hit big in those 2
105.
visits. Gives himself an opportunity here to level up this game. A game which he trailed 3-0 in.
57. Ron requires 96. 56.
With all the missed doubles in
Actually
this game, you
requires
tend to find these sort
108.
of combination finishes that feel a little bit easier.
48.
That one doesn't go, so it gives
Ron
Meulenkamp the
requires
chance
40.
to level up the match.
Game shown the
Huge start.
6th flag. Ron Meulenkamp.
For Ron Meulenkamp. It's a huge start against Fallon Sherrock. Even though
7th
she's not
flag.
playing
Ron
in the
to
game,
throw
she's going to play
first. Game on.
Ron Meulenkamp in her next game. Remember, she does have 2 games left. Meulenkamp only has 1 after this, so both be on 6 points. We did think that game might be pivotal. Could
11.
be crucial, but that is not what the doctor ordered.
Well, he's played some angry darts. He's had some angry
96.
moments. He'll probably leave the stage angry now if he loses this after being 3-0 down. To pull it back to 3 apiece and then open with the throw with 11.
97. $100. $41. 60.
Well, again, and we've seen a lot of this tonight. Nervous stuff, knife edge stuff. And really, Coleman shouldn't be in that position because he's got nothing to worry about anymore.
140.
Always wants to put on a show, doesn't he? Ashley Coleman wants to show what he can do.
95.
There's always that feeling as well, I assume, Matt, when you're in a situation that you're okay, but you've got to play to the best of your ability because there are other people in the practice room relying on you as
45.
well. It's an awkward walk back in, isn't
Ashley
it? If
requires
not?
Oh, absolutely. You're
150.
up there representing other people as well, and you want to play the game with full effort and integrity.
43. Ron requires 167.
He's won a game with this finish before. He did it yesterday against Tony O'Shea.
$95. Ashley requires 107. $83. Ron requires 72.
Huge. Huge, huge, huge for Ron Meulenkamp.
52. Ashley requires 24.
And Ashley
Game,
Coleman
shot, and the match.
puts him
Ashley
away.
Coleman.
A 4-3 win. That really doesn't matter for Coleman, but it matters a lot for Meulenkamp, and it certainly helps Fallon Sherrock. Coleman gets another victory, takes his points tally to 12. He's becoming a runaway winner of this group now. But it's a scrappy affair, and Meulenkamp will rue the missed opportunity that he never thought he'd have when he was 3-0 behind in the game. He bounced back, almost won it, but he's going to have to beat Fallon Sherrock and then hope that he gets done a favour by Gert de Vos later in the evening as well. Meulenkamp Sherrock coming up in a couple of games' time. Next, though, Tony O'Shea against de Vos. So the action continues here at the Modus Super Series, and slightly lost in that previous game as the focus was on FALLON SHERROCK and Ron Meulenkamp, that Gert de Vos, he's through, isn't he now?
Yeah, Gert de Vos can't be caught now. Ron Meulenkamp can only get onto 6 points. Gert de Vos already on 8.
Antonio O'Shea could get to 6 himself, but of course he'd have to beat de Vos and Coleman, but still can't get to 8. So 8 points is now the magic number, and Gert de Vos has already achieved it.
Game on.
But Tony O'Shea yet to win a leg this evening. However, he did win a game yesterday, and it was against the opponent he's playing now, Gert de Vos.
92.
A lot of history between the two. De Vos will be very respectful and very aware of the threat of his
40.
opponent here.
$135.
Maybe Tony O'Shea just likes playing Gert de Vos.
140.
He can't dent his chances now, but it'd be a nice double for Tony, wouldn't it?
58. 57.
He can't go through even if he gets to 6 points. By winning both his games 4-0, his leg difference is still so far behind everybody else that it would be
140.
impossible. And that is because of the point that was mentioned by Matthew Edgar alongside me. No legs.
24.
Tonight by Tony O'Shea.
Tony
Never mind
requires
matches. Does that change
76.
here?
Well, he's only had 3 darts at a double all night so far, Tony O'Shea.
Game on the first
He
leg.
only needs 2 here
Tony
to
O'Shea.
get the opening leg against Gert de Vos.
Second leg. Gert to throw first. Game on. $100. 100. 60. 58.
Do still have 3 games to come at the conclusion of this game. The next one
60.
could decide that final spot in Saturday night. There is just one place left available. FALLON SHERROCK and Ron Meulenkamp battling it
76.
out. And they are going head to head in our next fixture. Ashley Coleman takes on Tony O'Shea and Gert de Vos takes on FALLON SHERROCK. That one could have a lot
66.
riding on it depending on the outcome of the next.
$28. 45. 133.
Well, a
Gert
chance for
requires
DeVos to
170.
add a highlight to the reel.
$24.
Yeah, leave that one
Tony
off.
requires 106.
Well, what is it
90.
about Tony O'Shea for Gert de
Gert
Vos?
requires 146.
Not producing anything here at the moment. DeVos averaging in the low 60s.
82. Tony requires 16. Game on the second leg. Tony O'Shea. Third leg, Tony to throw first.
That look tells you
Game
all,
on.
doesn't it? Gert DeVos very puzzled.
$85. $58. $85.
Halfway there, Tony O'Shea. This a meaningless match in terms of Saturday. Tony O'Shea can't make it. Gert DeVos is already through, but the next game will be meaningful when Fallon Sherrock takes on Ron Meulenkamp. Sherrock wins that one, then everything is sorted. If Meulenkamp wins, goes to the final game.
137.
Fallon would. There is a chance that they couldn't be separated at the end of the evening, but
43.
would be a very specific set of results for that to happen. Ash Coleman and Tony O'Shea play in between Fallon's final games.
98.
In the meantime, do keep getting your questions in the YouTube chat room if you are
34. Tony requires 96.
watching tonight. Tell us who you think is going to win tomorrow. If you're watching right now, you'd say Tony O'Shea, but he's not going to be there.
Game
This
on the
is
third
from
leg.
nowhere, isn't it?
Tony O'Shea.
Absolutely nowhere.
Yeah, two things are
Fourth
happening
leg.
here.
Gert to throw first.
Tony O'Shea
Game
playing
on.
significantly better. And Gert DeVos looks like he's playing with two darts.
100. $100. $58. $77.
Just confirm going into that next match, Fallon Sherrock just 3 legs away from qualification. Even a 4-3 defeat would be enough.
100. $140. $100.
You almost get the sense that Tony O'Shea kind of wishes this was his last game. It'd be a nice feeling to just leave after this, wouldn't it?
140. Gert requires 143.
It's up there with the best performances in the group. An average of 96 and change.
23.
And it might be a 4-0 thumping
Tony
of a
requires
qualified player.
44.
Leaving Tony O'Shea thinking what might have been.
Gert
Gert requires 120.
DeVos might get his first start or double in this game. But he's going to need to find a treble 20. Long way off.
71. Tony requires 32. No score.
You could see he didn't like the
Gert
first start
requires
there. Had to move
49.
across, the grimace on the face. Gert DeVos to cling onto his throat.
9. Tony requires 32.
Can he close it out?
Game.
He can.
Shots. And the match.
And that
Tony
is a thumping
O'Shea.
win for Tony O'Shea. Gert DeVos beaten 4-0. He exits the stage sharply. He will be going through. Tony says, where's that been? But then shows he's still got the power. Coming next, a massive match in the battle to join DeVos and Coleman at finals night as Fallon Sherrock faces Ron Meulenkamp. Here we go then, the big match in the battle for finals night about to get underway. No, it's not for top of the table, not even for second place, but that race for third, Fallon Sherrock and Ron Meulenkamp going head-to-head. If Fallon Sherrock wins this match, in fact, if she gets to 3 legs in the game, she will secure her spot alongside DeVos and Coleman. She could actually finish in second spot herself. Meulenkamp, his last chance here, so he has to get the game won. He has to get it won 4-2 or better, and then has to hope that Gert DeVos is much improved from the performance we just saw against Tony O'Shea and beats Fallon Sherrock for him.
Meulenkamp with a lot to do here. And he's going to have to raise it himself on regards to what we've seen so far from Fallon Sherrock in regards to that of Ron Meulenkamp. We said at the start of the show yesterday, it didn't feel like the action was quite there for Ron Meulenkamp yesterday, and I get that same sort of feeling today. We've seen him get angry, we've seen him get frustrated and flustered, just sort of alternating through paces, trying to find something. But this is the time to find something. There is no more
First leg,
opportunities.
Fallon to throw first. Game
He has
on.
to beat Fallon, and he has to beat her by a score.
$100.
We will at the end of this evening tell you who's going to play who in what group on Saturday. If you haven't got your ticket yet, make sure you get it. Still time. Dartshop.tv, the place to go. Only £2. And you can get there by scanning that QR code. If you're unable to be here in Portsmouth, UK, then we will be on air from 7:30 UK time.
140.
I have to say, I have to agree with Matthew Edgar that Connor Scott's not really seen anything to be
43.
scared of after winning Group A earlier in the week. And this group in particular, on paper, could have been so strong, but only in flashes of
100.
any of the players really shown what they can do.
$60. Ron requires 121.
A flash might be all it takes.
$89.
Well, he needs to win by a score, and there's no better way to start than breaking your opponent's throw in the opening leg.
56. Ron requires 32. Game shot on the first leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
And that could be really important. The bigger he wins, the better chance he's got.
Second leg, Ron to throw first. Game on. $180.
We said the time is now for Ron Meulenkamp to find his best, and this is some way to start
59.
the match.
$140.
But every leg sort of counts for two, doesn't it, when you're thinking about leg difference, which is what he will be thinking about. If he wins it 4-0, he'd actually move into third place.
59.
And we'll just need Gert de Vos to win. Won't need a particular scoreline in that match.
96.
But when you're looking at a swing like that, it makes so much difference because
68.
it's an 8-leg swing with a 4-0 win, only a 6-leg swing with a 4-1 swing win. So on and so forth.
45. $60. Ron requires 40. No score.
Looked across to the FALLON SHERROCK score and saw her all the way back on 255. Goes back to the start. Sensible play there for Ron Meulenkamp.
140. Ron requires 40.
The reason being, in this situation, you'd rather be going for tops than double five or even five itself.
Game shot on the second leg. Ron Meulenkamp. Third leg, Fallon to throw first.
This has suddenly become
Game
a
on.
huge leg. Meulenkamp manages to break again here, then he is going to throw for that 4-0 win, which would be the perfect scenario
96.
for him. Fallon knows that she's going to get a second chance whatever happens. If she gets another win tonight, it's fine, she's through.
60.
But wants to take the danger out of it, wants to take the drama out of it.
60.
I think that's the word that describes the evening, isn't it? Drama. It's been drama filled. Nothing coming easy for anybody this evening.
97.
Some nervy moments for all players.
43.
It may come down to the very, very last game of the group. FALLON SHERROCK, Gert de Vos.
55.
Still thinking correctly. She went that way to ensure
162.
leaving a finish if she hit a single in the end. She got 3 trebles to leave one.
$80. Fallon requires 140. $78.
Well, you can understand the thinking in staying there, having just hit 3 of them for the 140 attempt, but caught the dart, took the momentum out of the throw, one on the floor, just makes it a little more difficult.
100.
As does Ron Meulenkamp by leaving 109.
62. Game shot on the third leg.
An act of
Fallon
defiance
Sherrock.
there from Fallon Sherrock.
Fourth leg, Ron to throw first. Game on.
Significant because Ron Meulenkamp now cannot be in third place at the end of this match.
125.
And that
100.
in turn means that Fallon Sherrock won't necessarily have to beat Gert DeVos. So just as we were saying before, every leg kind of worth double in a game like this.
83.
Changes the picture very quickly.
$100. $100. $60. $58.
Let's see if Fallon can find a couple of trebles.
$57. Ron requires 135. $95.
Sensible play there again from Ron Meulenkamp. Just had a look over to the Fallon Sherrock score, see where she was. Didn't need to go for the bullseye and can come back with 3 darts in hand at one of his preferred doubles.
82. Ron requires 40. Game shot on the fourth leg. Ron Meulenkamp.
Meulenkamp is giving himself a chance. That's all he
Fifth
can
leg,
do.
Fallon to throw first.
Having got himself in a
Game on.
unenviable position.
$140.
The game that follows this, Ashley Coleman. I kind of have to say, I knew he'd won all his matches, but it doesn't feel like he has. He's got to notice he could go through the card tonight. All of those 3 wins in last leg deciders.
180.
Every leg matters.
180.
Every visit matters. She just double checked there, didn't she, that they weren't both in. Could have been embarrassing.
It's probably the only time you don't want a 180, isn't it?
60. Fallon requires 81.
A good leg from Fallon here, 81 after 9. Very, very tough to break darts like this.
36.
The only way to do it really is with
Ron
a big finish like a 136.
Not happening. So Fallon Sherrock is edging closer and closer here.
96. Fallon requires 45.
Wins this leg. She's not going to need much against Gert de Vos. But Ron Meulenkamp now
40.
has the chance to keep his hopes alive. Good marker. Not used.
Game, shot.
But he
and
lands
match.
the winning double.
Meulenkamp.
And he's still in with a shout. Fallon Sherrock goes down 4-1 at the hands of Meulenkamp, who finds himself still in 4th place outside of the qualifying spots. Sherrock occupies 3rd, but is only there by virtue of 1 leg, and a heavy enough defeat against Gert de Vos in the final game would send her out and Meulenkamp through. Before that, it's top against bottom. The unbeaten Coleman takes on an improved Tony O'Shea. Well, the final match of tonight will decide who goes through in the final spot. But neither of these players have to worry about that. Fallon Sherrock and Gert de Vos are going to play, and de Vos is into bat for Ron Meulenkamp. More on that as we approach that game, but right now it's the signing off of Tony O'Shea's latest Super Series stint and the last warm-up match for Ashley Coleman for finals night, and he could get there off the back of a perfect night, although I'm not sure it will feel that way, Matthew.
No, absolutely not. He's had to work for it, hasn't he, this evening, Ashley Coleman. The doubles have really let him down, but I suppose he's had the opportunities, he's had the chances, he had the extra visits. He's managed to get the job done in the end.
First. Game on.
His last 2 games, he's had 54 darts on the outer ring. Main thing is he's got the job done. He's going to top the table. He's through to Saturday night. for the very first time as we take a bit of a
30.
breather in regards to the story that's developing for that final place that's still not yet to be decided. And when we think about the group and how we
42.
assumed that this group would go, we said it may come down to the very wire, and it is going to come down to the very, very last game.
Yeah, Fallon Sherrock will need 3 legs in that match. She needed 3 legs in the match she's just played.
85.
Could only manage to get 1.
60.
So doesn't have to win. She's got more results in her
100.
favour, more outcomes than she hasn't. But we've been here before with Fallon. We were here last time. She had a fantastic first night, and then it all went wrong on the Friday.
60.
It's all gone right on the Friday night for Ashley Coleman. And it went pretty right for Tony O'Shea in his previous match. Brilliant performance, the best of the evening.
$67. $22. $133. 60. Tony requires 86.
Treble 17 now.
20. 58. Tony requires 66. 46. 88. Tony requires 20. Game shot in the first leg.
O'Shea's
Tony O'Shea.
gone from losing his first 8 legs tonight to winning his last 5.
Second leg, Tony to throw first. Game
What
on.
do you think's happened to Ashley Coleman then? I mean, it seems strange. He's won all his games so far, but there's been a certain sort of loss of form as the
24.
evening's gone. Is this fatigue after a long week? Is it a lack of intensity having qualified?
140.
Yeah, that possibly is the case. Just the intensity going out of the performance level here. Already through, already achieved what he wanted to do, already got the job done. Can become very tricky, especially for someone who relies on a lot of rhythm and feel like Ashley does. He's going to need that bit of adrenaline, that little bit of push, because all that's happening is just throwing the darts a little bit too soft.
Yeah, and you think, just to sort of back up that theory, how good he was in
39.
Group A, but he was that good because he was being chased all the way by Connor Scott.
And a bit of aggression in the throw as well.
78.
We know he's a big Tony O'Shea fan, so maybe in this game as well, just the throw not having that right level of impetus with it.
40. 57. 59. Ashley requires 126.
Didn't need to go the 19s route, which is usual on 126, because
94.
O'Shea's not on a finish, and ends up leaving himself a nice double.
$51. Ashley requires 32. Game on the second leg. Ashley Coleman.
So ends that winning streak for Tony O'Shea in terms of legs. 4-0 in his previous match. Won the
Third
first
leg.
in this one.
Ashley to throw first. Game on. $60.
That's been a really good week when you look at actual finishing positions and results for Ashley Coleman. We spoke about the performance quite a lot throughout the week and how that's been improved and how I've been impressed with that.
60.
But when you look at the actual points and the tallies, he only missed out in Group A on leg difference, so you could say joint position, certainly in terms of points with Connor Scott. And now he's gone and won Group B and won it with a little bit of a gap as well.
100. $81.
A reminder, it is going down to the wire, folks. Ron Meulenkamp and Fallon Sherrock still locked in a battle to get through to finals night, along with this man and Gert DeVos.
85.
DeVos playing Sherrock. If she beats him, she'd actually end up above him in the table. But if she loses by more than one leg, she'll end up below Ron Meulenkamp and out.
44. Ashley requires 135. $34. $100. Ashley requires 101. $45. Tony requires 116.
How awkward is that? Has he found it? Wow. Oh,
Game
wow.
on the third leg.
Made it look easy.
Tony O'Shea. Fourth leg. Tony to throw first. Game on.
This game may suit Tony O'Shea, just because it's going to allow him to play with that little bit of rhythm, be back to the hockey very quickly. Ash Coleman very quick to the hockey, very quick with the throw and the delivery. So maybe he's just going to allow O'Shea to get in a bit of a rhythm.
91.
I think if he could have took 3 wins before he even came, he'd been delighted with that as a return. He's just here looking for a little bit of freedom within the throw, seeing what he could do. As he says, come on, as he's chasing down a fourth 180 of the week.
$95.
He's in a good position to back up that victory not so long ago.
$57. $140. $60. $27. Tony requires 144. $60. Ashley requires 148.
He's trying to navigate those blockers. We'll be back for the 84, O'Shea, for a 3-1 advantage.
60. Tony requires 84.
Bolt.
59. Ashley requires 88.
Double 7.
Game shot
Coleman
on the
cleans
fourth
up.
leg. Ashley Coleman. Fifth leg, Ashley to throw first.
They had an incredible Group A campaign,
on.
Ashley Coleman. Very, very narrowly missing out against a brilliant Connor Scott in that race. Only lost 3 matches from
57.
3 days, 15 games played, amassed 24 points. But this could be one of the most unconvincing
59.
perfect nights we've ever seen if he does manage to win this match.
60. $43.
It takes a couple of inspired minutes, though, in this sort of format. I think sometimes we don't quite focus on that factor enough. The short nature of these games just being best of 7. When you're looking for that consistency,
85.
you can also win this in regards to small explosive bursts.
98.
Yeah, same format on a Saturday as well. Every match at the Super Series is that best of 7 format. Race to 4 legs.
55.
There might be
Ashley
something to be said if he could win this
146.
4-3 and win every match in the last leg decided. That might be very helpful tomorrow.
86. $59. Ashley requires
Time on the
60.
side here for Ash Coleman. I think he's going to be tempted by... No. I wouldn't have been surprised if he was
Game
tempted
shot
by the
there,
ball. We
fifth
saw some
leg.
cheeky shots early on
Ashley
in the week,
Coleman.
didn't we? We saw it with double-doubles tonight. That ended up getting him into some sticky situations.
Sixth leg, Tony to throw first. Game on.
We know he can go for some entertaining shots, so we say. And that just may have been one of those sort of happy accidents. But
55.
very sensible in his approach. Just trying to get the job done and have that perfect night here on night 2.
180.
Well, how about ending a perfect night in perfect fashion?
$34.
Not going to happen, but
100.
might be the best burst of the match coming in here from Coleman.
$140. $41. $100.
140 here would be handy.
$100.
Well, a 140 here would be handy as well. Just had to make sure he didn't hit a 180.
80.
This then to finish the job.
40. Tony requires 32. Game on the 6th leg. Tony O'Shea.
Tony O'Shea's only been to a last leg shootout once. And when
7th
we went
leg,
the
Ashley to
distance,
throw first.
He pulled
Game
out
on.
the best leg he has all week.
91. $60. 81.
Well, either be a perfect night for Ashley Coleman, 4 wins with a +4 leg difference for the evening.
98.
Or Tony O'Shea will sign off with back-to-back wins.
$60.
He's well aware that he's in the autumn of his career, Tony O'Shea. And they say you never lose it, but you also don't find it as often.
81.
Needs to find the lot here, though.
121. Actually
Fine
requires
effort for
150.
one last roll of the dice. But Coleman, 6 darts.
98. $85. Ashley requires 52.
88.
44. Tony
Well, a
requires
chance here for Tony O'Shea
123.
to get his second victory of the day.
Ashley Coleman seemed to want him to get it then.
55.
Thought
Ashley
it was pretty
requires
close for
8.
comfort for Coleman. Oh, they could not have been closer.
No score. Tony requires 68. $36. Ashley requires
Surely now.
8. $6. Tony requires
Handful of
32.
darts for Tony O'Shea to win the match and his second victory of the day for back-to-back wins.
Game, shot,
And
a
Silverback
match.
succeeds.
Tony O'Shea.
He's the only one to defeat Ashley Coleman tonight. It's a big pat on the back for Tony, who marched off the stage having managed to make it actually 2-6 points. 3 wins. He won't be going through though. He'll be heading home. Ashley Coleman is there on Saturday. He is a group winner. O'Shea finishes bottom of the pile. Ron Meulenkamp hoping that he goes through, but Fallon Sherrock, it's in her hands. She takes on Gert DeVos for a place at finals night next.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live Line.
They've both got the talent where they can reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat. And what a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree.
Only needs the one.
Shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
Shot on the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Well, Smith, is it a
Darius Labanowski.
9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot on the mark.
He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the fourth flag.
Just like
Darius
that.
Labanowski.
only needs the one. There you can see
that she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
On the first leg, Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
On the second leg, Dan Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw, double 16 is fouled.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison!
Final game and a final chance for FALLON SHERROCK to make it through to finals night. And everything will be finalised at the end of this one. Sherrock, well, in a race to 4, she only needs 3. 3 legs enough to secure her spot at the Week 8 finale. Gert de Vos is already there.
First leg, Gert to throw first. Game on.
If he wins a game, 4-2, 4-1, or 4-0, it will be Ron Meulenkamp that goes through. If Gert de Vos wins this match, it's one of those weeks where somebody is going through from Group B with just 3 wins across the 2 nights. That's what Tony O'Shea's got, and he looked like he was nowhere near qualifying.
100.
Well, I was just looking at the last couple of performances from Gert de Vos. His last 2 averages, 66 and 63.
58.
Been nowhere near the level that has seen him qualify. So that is maybe something that the FALLON SHERROCK fans can cling to in this game, and knowing that she doesn't need to win the game, just needs to get to those 3 legs.
But he got the job done
59
in the very first match of the night, didn't he? He didn't know it at the time, but he beat Ron Meulenkamp 4-1. And that has proved to be all he needed in the end.
58.
Had that gone the other way, this could just be a straight shootout.
$180.
2 maximums in the opening leg. And he's got the advantage of throw here.
140.
There. Should
requires
Gert de Vos
24.
not be able to take out the 24?
He doesn't like that. It's leaning across.
12.
Yeah, the angle of entry wasn't
FALLON
kind.
requires 118. Game on the first
FALLON
leg.
SHERROCK.
FALLON SHERROCK
Produces a brilliant checkout right on time after a leg,
Second
which
leg,
had seen de
FALLON
Vos
to
throw
throw first.
everything at her. She ends
Game
up breaking. 2 180s from de Vos in that opening leg.
Meulenkamp would have been quite confident of that being one of the
85.
legs off the board for FALLON SHERROCK, but a big, big saviour there.
So she now only needs 2. 2 more legs,
26.
and she will be there.
$100. $25.
The irony. 2 180s in the last leg. He scored 51
55.
after 6 starts in this one.
Well, he did try to make the point, didn't he, before play today in the interview with you, Chris, about 3 or 4 times, that he does feel he's a little bit inconsistent.
100.
Yeah, consistently so. Could actually go out in 6 starts now.
$41. 100.
He might have just worked his way back into the leg with a couple of three-figure scores.
100. 55. Fallon requires 120. 28.
Hasn't really helped herself much there.
$95. Fallon requires 92.
17s for the ball.
67. Gert requires 100. 68.
Both players missing
Fallon
opportunities
requires
to
25.
get leg 2 in the ledger. Oh, that is a mile away.
Yes.
11 left.
21. Gert requires 32. 'No score. Fallon
Both
requires
players missing
4.
chances to win the leg.
Game
Fallon
on the
Sherrock now is
second
in
leg.
within one leg
Fallon
all finals
Sherrock.
night, and we have been informed that she is aware of that. Some players choose not to know, but she has been
Third
asking the
leg.
question,
Gert to throw
what do I
first.
need to do?
Game
How many
on.
legs do I need? And she has been told it's 3.
So unless Gert de Vos wins the
57.
remaining 4 legs here, Ron Meulenkamp will be out. The
100.
other interesting thing here for Fallon Sherrock is you could actually jump Gert de Vos in the league table here and move up into second place, which brings its own financial rewards as well.
135.
Yeah.
100. 95. 60. 85.
Also put her in a group with
85.
Connor Scott if she was
Gert
going to get
requires
there.
129. 89. Fallon requires 156. 45. Gert requires 40.
The missed ball's starting to add up now for Gert de Vos.
Game on
But
the
that run
third leg.
ends.
Gert de Vos.
That is one part of the job complete. Ron Meulenkamp will be in the back room hoping that Gert de Vos can
Fourth
win the
leg.
next
Fallon
3.
to throw first. Game on.
Fallon will have the advantage of throw in a couple of legs. She only needs one more.
58. 45. 56. 27. $121.
Closing in. Finals night that will feature Connor Scutt,
81.
Colin Osborne, Stuart Kellett, Ashley Coleman, Gert DeVos,
96.
and Fallon Sherrock if she gets one more leg. And she could do it in the most sensational style.
95. Fallon requires 170. $60.
Won't care a jot about not taking out the big fish. Will care a little about only taking a small bite from the 170.
68. Fallon requires 110.
Another 6 darts here. At 110 to get the job done. To get over the line. To get into Saturday night. Just becomes a setup play. She's not happy with the way those darts were, but that one saves the
78.
situation. And means she will come back with 3 darts in hand to get the 3 legs she needs to be one of the 3 players qualifying from this group.
63. Fallon requires 32. No score.
Well, now she has to hope that
Gert
DeVos
requires
does
122.
not produce a bit of magic.
Well, there was nowhere near for Fallon, was there? 3 poorly thrown darts. Bullseye for the magic.
78. Fallon requires
Needs
32.
to show that trademark composure under pressure here.
No score.
But it's not on display
Gert
tonight.
requires 44.
That is 6 darts squandered for a Saturday sport.
24.
She'll get 3 more.
Fallon requires 32.
She misses 3 more.
Gert requires 20. Game shot on the 4th leg.
And it's the last start
Gert
in hand, the
DeVos.
more painful one of the 3. Fallon Sherrock was getting frustrated there at the prospect of missing the 9, and then
5th leg, Gert to throw first.
last one leaves
Game
her
on.
pondering. Frustrated, but now the question is posed. Is it better to not know in that
40.
situation? Is it better just to go up there and try and win the match rather than try and play a mini game within the game?
That's a good point.
97.
And now the difficulty is trying to forget about the 9 darts that she's missed.
77.
Would have seen her certain for a place at finals night tomorrow. Or tonight.
83.
We're actually getting underway 7:30 UK time, live here on the Super Series YouTube channel.
45. $60. $78.
Well, the good news for Fallon is that even though Gert DeVos is through, he's not playing with any evident freedom either. Seems shackled by the situation himself.
26. $91.
Might be value in going for the ball with the second dart here. Certainly will go for it with the third. And can't find the
51.
green, so that gives Gert
Gert
DeVos
requires
6 darts from
170.
170.
80.
The last dart there saves Gert DeVos's opportunity. Gets him down to a potential 2-darter.
60.
Just not
Gert
happening here for
requires
Fallon.
90.
She went 2-0 up. She's had plenty of opportunities here. But Gert DeVos in the ascendancy.
Game shot on the 5th leg. Gert DeVos.
And now she has to win this leg.
6th leg. Fallon to throw first. Game on.
We said before a dart was thrown, this Group B will come down to the wire. I don't think we imagined it would come down to just one
140.
leg of darts.
And that's literally what it does come down to, and what it may well come down to in the table. If DeVos wins this leg, Ron Meulenkamp will
100.
qualify for finals night by virtue of a better leg difference of 1. If Fallon Sherrock wins this leg but then loses the game,
140.
they'll have the same leg difference, but she will have won 1 more leg than Ron Meulenkamp to go through.
Well, this is class, this from
81.
Fallon Sherrock. It's not been her best performance. She's had match darts, missed 9 in a row to get the job done.
100.
You see the smile on the face at the back of the stage when Gert DeVos took it to this situation, and Fallon has stepped it up big time here. He's 1-2-1 after
43.
9,
Fallon
guaranteed
requires
6 darts now.
121.
And she had the guts to go that route.
103.
But could it get sticky, having gone inside on the 18? I just wonder if he doesn't leave a finish, whether she thinks about splitting. It's not something she very often does, but in this
31.
situation, would it be
Fallon
wise?
requires
Straight for
18.
it, full focus.
9.
It's 4 more missed, isn't it? That's now 13 qualification darts.
40.
Well, she's going to
Fallon
get plenty
requires
more.
9.
She's got at least 2 more turns to take out this 9.
One.
Well, how many does she need? And this time the pressure will be applied. 15 chances have come and gone for Fallon Sherrock to steal
Fallon
her
requires
Saturday
8.
spot. And
Game shot
finally,
on the 6th leg. Fallon
Fallon
Sherrock.
Sherrock seals her place at finals night. Fallon will
7th
be the
leg.
first to
Gert to
admit
throw
she's
first.
kind of fallen
Game
over the
on.
line, but she can breathe a sigh of relief. And after coming close in her previous visit here, and it all falling apart on the
62.
Friday, Sherrock will be on the Super Series stage on Saturday night.
59.
Some interesting ingredients there, isn't there, for Saturday night?
79.
Lots of different angles and stories to be told across the evening. But the big one is, can anyone
59.
raise their levels enough to challenge the favourite Connor Scott?
Yeah, worth a mention for Ron Meulenkamp, who is the
140.
player that has now been eliminated as a result of that leg being won for Sherrock. Meulenkamp, of course, made a final on his last visit to a Super Series Saturday.
60.
Sherrock will now look to become the
95.
second woman to win a week in the main Modus Super Series competition. Bo Greavesby the first. Of course, Rhiannon O'Sullivan won
60.
the women's week,
Gert
which
requires
featured both of them.
125. 35. 121. Gert requires 90. $50. Fallon requires 142. $90. Gert requires
Well, to sign
40.
off with a win and to secure second place in the table. Well, that
2.
could now
Fallon requires 52.
go to Fallon Sherrock.
$42. Gert requires 38. No
And for the
score.
small portion
Fallon
available.
requires 10. $6. Gert requires 38. Game, shot, and the match. Gert DeVos.
And it is DeVos that is the boss in the end in that game. It became a kind of sideshow, the actual outcome of the match. Fallon Sherrock got the 3 legs she needed, and in winning them secures her spot at finals night on Saturday. Bit of a battle between the two of them, but Gert DeVos finishes second, Fallon Sherrock finishes third, and we will be hearing from the Queen of the Palace, reflecting on her qualification after the break.
Welcome to the party in Portsmouth here at the Modus Live.
They've both got the talent where they just reel off leg after leg and dish out a heavy defeat.
What a way to start the day. We're up and running here on Champions Week with a maximum.
But what a way to finish. A 12-dart leg.
Beautiful check out there from Cam Crabtree. Only needs the one.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius
What were you saying about efficiency?
on the third leg.
Is that the moment that Reece Robinson comes alive in this crucial clash? Looks like he's going to go for it. And it is right next to his favourite double top. And he gets the job done at the earliest possibility. That is Cam Crabtree through.
Case not so. Harrison gets the all-important win.
Game shot on the second leg. Darius Labanowski. Game shot.
Well, Smith is it
Darius
a 9? A long time. And that clenched fist.
Game shot.
He gets the job done in the end. He's nodding in total agreement because
Game shot on the fourth leg.
Just like
Darius
that.
Labanowski.
only needs the one. There you can see.
That she can unlock at any moment, but that is quality from Harrison. This would be a wake-up.
Welcome to the party in Pompey. Should be a good marker for him, and is. It was a great guide.
Shot on the first leg. Andreas Harrison.
It's a breaker throw for Andreas Harrison.
Shot on the second leg. Cam Crabtree.
Consecutive breaker throw. Double 16 is found.
And he does lead. It's not an 11, but it's a beautiful 12, treble 17, which he gets. Bullseye for the win. Absolutely incredible by Andreas Harrison.
He's Andreas Dirty Harrison.
Well, as promised, the Queen of the Palace, Fallon Sherrock, has joined us for a little chat. Look, you got there in the end, but there was a lot of stress towards the end there, wasn't there?
Oh, do we really have to talk about it? Yeah, no, there's a lot of stress. I probably would have been better off not knowing, but, you know, I was overhearing and I heard that I had to get 3 legs, and I was like, right, okay. And yeah, no, none of them doubles felt comfortable at all. Even the 118 didn't feel comfortable tonight.
It's a strange situation, isn't it? Because not needing to win the match, but only needing a certain amount of legs, it's a really unfamiliar situation because most tournaments are knockout, but here that kind of thing can happen. How relieved were you when you finally did hit the double to get through?
Yeah, no, I was really relieved, and like, especially on like double 2, I think it was. I absolutely hate double 2 as well. So yeah, I don't know if you could see it when I walked back. I kind of put my head like back, and I was like, thank God.
Yeah, when we were talking about it, you said maybe she'd have been better off not knowing. We didn't know, actually. You didn't ask to know, did you? You just overheard, and that kind of got into your head.
Yeah, definitely. I overheard a conversation, and I was like, oh no, I wish I didn't know that. Because I never really ask. I just try and play for the win every time because, yeah, otherwise I end up doing that. It's not great.
But
it's what we're used to, isn't it?
Through.
It's what we're used to, playing for the win. And ultimately, that's what you go up there to do. You don't go up there to play a mini game within a game. And that's ultimately what Fallon was doing there, especially from 2-0 up. The worst thing then is you've got 4 opportunities. The only way you're not going to qualify is if Gert de Vos goes and wins 4 legs. So what you end up doing is you end up standing there and counting down the lives. Like, oh, it's okay, I've got 3, I've got 2. Oh, hang on. I've only got 1, and I've only got 1 of them with the throw. And you start telling yourself this story, and all you do is just build the anxiety and the panic all the time.
You're the kind of player that we've seen, of course, on the biggest stages, really thrive under the pressure. Do you think a little bit of it as well was in a couple of those legs? You had quite a lot of darts. He was quite a long way behind you. And actually, you're someone who is kind of more on it when they're right with you in matches.
Yeah, I think maybe, if Gert had kind of been like up my tail, like proper behind me and like smashing in the scores and that, maybe I probably wouldn't have had as much time to overthink, because I think that's exactly what I did in that game, just overthink on the doubles. But yeah, I think if Gert had just played normal, I think it would have been a completely different game and probably more entertaining.
Yeah, and we just kind of saw it there, because the very first leg of the match he hit 2 180s and then you took out 118, no problem at all. So it just goes to prove the point, doesn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Like, he hit 2 180s and I thought this 118's got to go if you're going to get a leg, because if he gets this leg and then he's just going to go like storming through the game, and I was like, I need to kind of stop that. I don't want him to just run off with it.
Well, let's just show everyone how close it was in the end. The league table, Fallon, Ron Meulenkamp, Antonio Shea all got 6 points in the end. In fact, exactly the same leg difference, but Fallon through by 1 more leg, won. Now, you've been at the other side of this before, so I'm sure in the end, now you might reflect tonight and think you could have played better, but end of the day you threw, and Saturday's a different day, isn't it?
Yeah, 100%. Tomorrow's completely different. It's different opponents. I mean, obviously, there's 2 people in here from tonight, but it's different people, different environment, a different day. You know what you've got to do tomorrow. Yes, you've got a round robin the first game, but then it's straight knockout pretty much. So it's a completely different mindset. And yeah, no, I've been on the other side of it before, and it was awful because I felt like I actually played better. But yeah, I'll take a win playing like average tonight, so I'm okay.
Is anyone coming out of tonight with a confidence boost, or does everyone need to have that mentality and think of Saturday as being a completely different event?
You've got to draw a line under tonight, I think. Tonight has not been there in regards to what we know the players' levels are, but it doesn't need to be tonight. You've just got to get through, and that's all you've got to do. Tomorrow's a completely different day. Tomorrow's a completely different environment, a different vibe. There's going to be a different atmosphere down there completely. So it's almost going to be like 2 contrasting tournaments. All you've got to do is make sure you get through to Saturday. It's Saturday where you need to produce the goods, and the players are in there tonight.
Right, let's show you everybody who is through to Saturday then this week. So Connor Scott won Group A earlier in the week. Ashley Coleman, Gert de Vos, Fallon Sherrock through from Group B. Stuart Kellett won Group C with Colin Osborne as the runner-up. And the Groups 4 finals night break down like this. So this is the first look for you, Fallon. You'll be playing Ashley Coleman from this group and Stuart Kellett from Group C. Group 1, Connor Scott, Gert de Vos and Colin Osborne. Any initial reaction to that?
Could have been a lot worse. I'm always going to think, like, whatever group I'm in, it's going to be difficult anyway, so there's no point, like, dwelling who you've got or anything like that. But, yeah, I've got Ashley Coleman again. I think I've lost the last 2 nights, so hopefully tomorrow I can kind of get a win under my belt. But, yeah, I think tonight, I think everyone can just put it in the bin and start again tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, you've been saying in comms that the biggest winner, not just in this group, but over the last couple of days, has kind of been Connor Scott. He's had his feet up, watching the action. He was already there. Is he still the big favourite for you tomorrow?
He went home, didn't he? He went home to get his normal routines and his practicing, and he was watching and seeing what was going on. I don't think anything scared him so far. He's the big favourite to win the week. He's been winning titles left, right and centre. I've said I think he's possibly the series winner. If it plays how it has, he's going to take some beating.
But hasn't been to a Saturday apart from that double start week at the Super Series yet. Fallon, you've got plenty of experience on that stage and every stage in front of an audience. Do you think that's something that could work in your favour tomorrow?
Hopefully it does. Obviously, every experience on playing here is going to obviously help. But yeah, no, I just hope I can get to the final and actually get over it this time, because I don't know how many times I've got there. But yeah, if I have to beat Connor, I have to beat Connor. But
well, look, you've got to be in it to win it, and you are in it, so well done. Thanks for your company tonight as well, Matthew, and thank you for your company as always. Finals night gets underway on Saturday from 7:30. You can be there at finals night as well. Any finals night you can get there. The tickets are available from dartshop.tv, and if you can't, just join us here on the YouTube channel tomorrow.